CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. A Calgary teenager is facing charges relating to AI-generated child sexual abuse material. Alert's Internet Child Exploitation Unit has charged a high school student after using a search warrant at a home on November 13th. It's alleged AI technology was used to sexualize photos of teen girls who attended several different high schools in the Calgary area. Police are not identifying the suspect nor the high school in order to protect the identity of the victims. The victims have been provided support services. Brooks RCMP say an officer has been charged after an investigation into off-duty conduct started 2 weeks ago. 40-year-old Corporal Michael Hagel has been charged with assault. Hagel, who has been with RCMP for 9 years, has been suspended from duty with pay. More than $900,000 worth of drugs, a loaded handgun, and drug paraphernalia were seized after a package was intercepted at Calgary's airport. On November 20th, German border authorities sent an alert about a shipment of drugs on its way to our city. Police and border agents seized the package and tracked the intended recipient to a home on Cantrell Place Southwest. 36-year-old Scott Sinclair Lear and 34-year-old Kelly Corrine Robinson are facing charges. Air Transat pilots have voted to go on strike as early as next week. Their union says 99% of pilots voted to walk off the job as part of their pressure tactics. They'll give 72 hours notice beforehand and could go on strike next Wednesday. The pilots say they want industry standard pay and better working conditions. The Premier now appears to be amongst the UCP MLAs facing recall petitions. Elections Alberta hasn't updated its website yet, but documents sent to CTV News suggest a campaign has been approved. The recall petition for Danielle Smith was submitted by a Brooks Medicine Hat resident. In her statement, Heather Van Snick says the Premier has no meaningful connection to the community. The province has argued Albertans are not adhering to the spirit of the recall legislation. Elections Alberta says it approves petitions based on the criteria in the legislation written by the province. The Justice Minister says while the province is considering changes, none will happen during this session. A surprise revelation in the legislature about the proposed private surgical facilities for Lethbridge and Red Deer.
And I'm pleased to share that the procurements for the Central and South Zone surgical facilities have been cancelled.
Months of pressure about procurement practices and conflicts of interest. Matt Jones says procurement will be transferred to the Health Shared Services Organization. He also says an outside consultant has been hired to set standards for procurement and contracting procedures. Alberta's Privacy Commissioner is raising concerns about the province adding healthcare numbers to driver's licenses. In a letter to the government, Diane McLeod says it will increase the risk of fraud. She says personal health numbers are a sought-after commodity on the dark web. McLeod has also warned the registrar of motor vehicles isn't subject to privacy laws. Support is pouring in for a 3-year-old golden retriever with medical problems abandoned by its owners at an Okotoks off-leash dog park over the weekend. Vets are now trying to get her ready for a new home she can be loved in. But as Tyson Fedor reports, the incident highlights a growing trend in the scarcity of shelter space for pets.
The Stoffertons both work at the Southern Alberta Veterinary Emergency Hospital in Okotoks. Lauren and Allison are now fostering Rhea. She was abandoned in an Okotoks dog park tied to a post with a coat, blanket, boots, and her seizure medication.
Like the natural human response to say, oh, how could somebody do that? But being a veterinarian, being in veterinary medicine, you come to learn that it's not just about the animals, the care.
A Good Samaritan then dropped off Rhea on Saturday at Save.
Knowing that she came in with seizure medication, we knew that she couldn't stay here overnight alone in the clinic because she just had medical risk.
Her owner left a note saying they were leaving the country and could not care for her any longer.
The owners did love her, did care for her. They were probably in a situation where they were, between a rock and a hard place. From what we do know, they did try to surrender her to at least 1 or 2 other rescues.
Rhea has health issues and been on anxiety and seizure medication. The Stauffergens are hopeful to medically clear her in the next couple of weeks so she can be adopted to her forever home.
We had a lot of people who messaged us and said that they were immediately wanted to open their homes to her and wanted her to have a soft place to land. And I guess she's not the only dog who's going through something like this right now.
Pause for Change Rescue Foundation says there is an overpopulation issue and rescues are full. It says it receives anywhere from 50 to several hundred requests for intake weekly.
Rescues in Alberta and Western Canada and whole are dealing with basically a animal welfare crisis.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Okotoks.
If you're looking for a Christmas tree or firewood ahead of the holidays, you can get it for free by chopping it yourself on public land. Albertans are allowed to cut down up to 3 Christmas trees. They have to be under 2.5 meters tall and with stumps no larger than 15 centimeters in diameter. You can also cut up to 7 trees for firewood. You need a permit, and even on Crown land, there are some areas off limits. Calgarians are invited tonight to One Cozy Night, a holiday concert at Mount Royal. The Royal Canadian Artillery Band is spreading holiday cheer. The concert is free, but donations to the Calgary Military Family Resource Centre are appreciated. Funds raised will support programs that serve military and veterans families across southern Alberta. The performance starts at 7 at the Bella Concert Hall. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnewscalgary.ca.